We just wrapped up the first weekend of the beta for Black Ops 6 and just wanted to do this dev dismo type video where we play, hit record, and go through my initial thoughts and impressions of the game so far, and maybe touch on changes I would like to see for the open beta come weekend 2 starting tomorrow, or for the full launch of the game specifically for multiplayer and maybe Warzone. But yeah, honestly, I'm having a pretty decent time on the multiplayer so far. I am a Treyarch fanboy and their games just hit different for me, and this game has a lot of similarities to Cold War that is a top COD for me throughout the Warzone era specifically, so it feels great. Looks a little less arcade-like, more realistic than what Treyarch typically does, but with the unified engine that Warzone has, I get it. But if a Treyarch COD is what you like, you're going to be happy with this one. Now, Omnimovement is absolutely crazy. It takes a bit to get used to, but once you're flowing with the sliding and diving backwards and sideways, it's pretty crazy what you can do. But I'm going to put this as a pro and a con, and here's why. You can absolutely shatter someone's camera and they can break your ankles right back, but this is definitely going to add a skill gap not only in multiplayer but in Warzone when the integration happens later this year. So huge fan of the freedom of movement we got, but we know that the casual gamer that plays this once or twice a week is going to have a longer learning curve to this if they even get BO6 or try it in Warzone later. Just nervous it may turn some more players off from COD that can't figure it out right away, but I guess we'll just have to see. But overall, a lot of good in this game. It feels super polished in game with moving and shooting, not as much desyncs on shots registering when firing. Connectivity though, we'll talk about in a bit. I think the biggest thing we do need to talk about is the nerf to aim assist. If you don't know, aim assist is basically non-existent in close quarter fights. I think JGod was saying that within 3-ish meters it just doesn't work, and it looks to be on purpose. So with all the Omni movement, both controller and mouse and keyboard are going to be struggling in similar ways. Even when I'm getting completely slammed by it, I think it makes sense. Aim assist was a huge pro that mouse and keyboard players were just in a huge disadvantage over, so this gives them a little bit of a balance to it. Are they even?
Oh fuck no.
Controller is still going to be the better input, but it's better for those that are on the keys. Now for the not so good, honestly not much because I am having a great time on the game. But first off, connectivity. Yes, it is a beta, so maybe not all the servers they have at launch are up, but almost every game I'm fighting some packet burst issues where I hitch a bit from time to time. Not consistent, so can't really plan for it. And all I'm saying is my KD would look a little bit better without fighting players and packet bursts. On the connection topic, matchmaking was a bit slower, especially when partying up. I get that it wants to match lobbies up with similar party size, and there are less players playing right now in the early access beta versus next weekend with the open beta and at launch. This will only get better from here, but something to note if you typically play with friends. Next two things are for weapons. First off, weapon leveling just seems a little too slow. Weapons in BO6 don't have 20-ish levels like we got used to. They are back to the 40-50-ish range. So raking up without double XP tokens is taking longer than expected, especially since we only have 8 or 9 days total to play and try out as much as we can. That being said, a dev did go to Twitter and confirm that XP gains will be increased for the open beta starting this Friday at 10 a.m. PST. Hopefully at launch we don't go back to the weekend 1 XP gains, or at least let us carry over the double XP tokens from MW3. And lastly, I think some weapon balancing is needed because as of right now, all of your deaths are from the
Jackal! Jackal! It's a jackal! It looks like a jackal!
Now, I wouldn't mind it being nerfed, but I also want Treyarch to take a different approach for weapon balancing, where instead of them nerfing everything that seems a little too good, they buff the weaker weapons so more things feel strong versus everything feeling weak. Obviously take TTK into account as they gotta have a gold time where they want weapons to be around. Warzone is known for doing the nerf pass a lot, but as of late they have been increasing their buff counts and weapon balancing, so hope COD does this overall. And after recording this, Treyarch came forward and confirmed weapon balancing is coming for weekend 2, so it looks like they are listening. But that about wraps it up for my initial thoughts on the Black Ops 6 multiplayer beta and Warzone with BO6 in mind. If you learned something new or planning on jumping into the open beta, let me know by hitting that like button. And if there's anything you like, dislike, or something you want to talk about, or if you think BO6 is a W or no, let me know down in the comments. I got you covered with news and updates for Black Ops 6, Warzone, and Modern Warfare 3 as we wrap up that game's life cycle. So be sure to follow to stay in the know for the next time you boot up for you and your squad. Appreciate you hanging with me, but above all, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.